Welcome to another video. Today we're talking about enshittification. Hey, I'm Victor Savell. Today we're talking about a topic of enshittification. If you're not familiar with it yet, Cory Doctorow coined this term a while ago. Now it's actually in the dictionary. And if we look at what it means exactly, it is the gradual degradation of an online platform or service's functionality as part of a cycle in which the platform or service first offers benefits to users to attract them, then pursues more and more profits at the expense of users. If you haven't watched Cory Doctorow's talk on this, there's a lot of them, and at this point he has the entire speech memorized. So if you watch more than one, you can see it's pretty much he has this speech on rails. But it's very well researched and it's very poignant.
So I want to start by asking an important question, which is, what the fuck happened to the old good internet?
Enshittification is the moment when you realize that you go to YouTube or you go to any of these bigger services, even just go to Google and try to search for something. It might take you 2 or 3 searches these days to find what you're looking for, and you're gonna scroll through so many ads that are not very clearly marked anymore. You could see over time how that's degraded as well. They get you in, they reel you in with a really good offer. They lock you in so you can't really leave because everyone else is using the network, and then they just extract as much money out of you as possible and keeping you towing on that line where you're like, I hate this service, I really don't want to use this service, but this is all there is, so there's not much choice, we don't have much choice, so I'm begrudgingly using this service because there's no other choice. And this is bad for everybody, right? Except the big tech companies, of course. Let's draw some parallel. Let's ask why this is happening, and then let's maybe go through a parallel in real life, if we could go through this, and would this actually work in real life with a real life company? The reason for enshittification is very simple. It's one word. I'm more than sure you already know that word. We can say it together. 3, 2, 1, greed. That's it. We have a really good system of greed built into this financial world that we live in. It's called the stock market. It's entirely based on greed, and it's based on people parking their money in a company that thinks is growing so they can extract money out of that company as they grow. The company's using that money as investment and to help grow the company, and you're giving a little bit of that chunk that you got for return to your shareholders. This creates an ever-increasing need for growth. Every quarter you have to grow. You know how there's all these things in our lives that just keep growing and never stop growing infinitely? There's really nothing at all in our lives, if you can think of. Nothing grows infinitely. Everything has an end, except, I guess, the stock market, right? So we can already see a logical fallacy in this entire system, and these bigger tech companies like to pretend that they're so big that they're always going to be around. But think of companies that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. That there's not many of them. Companies, it's normal for companies to come up and just die. Unless they're a utility company, society changes, everybody changes, right? You might be a great business mogul today, but you might get tired of running the business. You might want to close the business down. Maybe the product doesn't make sense anymore. There's so many products that don't make sense in the 1950s that couldn't be sold today. So those companies should not be around. Unless they have made a big enough name for themselves, they become either a utility company because they provide something that's so valuable that now it's become a utility, so it's protected and regulated. There are companies like that. They're going to be around forever. These telecom companies, yeah, they made a product that's become so ubiquitous that they've become a utility. There are other things that are trying that. I think social media, and either they become a utility and they become regulated, or we need to start getting rid of these people and rid of these products. And I think it's us, the people that make these, that code these, that come up with the design for these. We're the ones who created this. The big business guys were just the guys that paid us make it. So we're really in control here, if we think about it. We don't need to be organized under one umbrella. We can be independent and have an open source project that outdoes and outcompetes these big giants. So let's look at an example. Let's say that we are in the farming world. Let's say we make peas. We grow peas, right? And let's say we go back in time a little bit. So we start growing our peas. We're in Louisiana. I don't know if Louisiana grows peas, but let's just come along with me on this thought exercise. We have a small little farm. We have 10 people working our farm. We go into the local farm at first, the farmer's market, and we sell our peas in just our little hand-bagged bags. And it's really successful because our peas are fresh, really good quality. We're not using crazy pesticides. We're organic, whatever, right? And let's say Louisiana, we have cornered the market and we are in every single shop in Louisiana. And we come to the terms of, there's so much, our peas are so good that there's just so much growth we're going to experience now because these other markets, we're going to go into other states in the US and then eventually international, that it would make sense to put this company on the stock market, just make our initial public offering based on how much we're valued right now. And let's open our company to outside investors. We need that money so we can grow nationally. It's a huge cost. I mean, we're in Louisiana, so our peas are so much cheaper to transport. Once we're going outside Louisiana, there's other laws. We have to hire lawyers. We have to have transportation companies move our peas. Things get really complicated. So we need a lot more investment. So it makes sense. Let's put it on the stock market. We are going to grow actually for a while. So let's do that. We raise $100 million and we now have money to expand. Our product is growing naturally because it's good quality and it's competition in the marketplace. Our product is better than the one right next to it. We've hired these firms to come in and redesign our packaging to be more competitive, to have your eye come to our package first. We've redone our logos. We've automated some of our factories. We have cut costs and we're still growing. But there comes a point where we have optimized everything to the absolute maximum, right? There's nothing more that we could do unless we want to start playing some games. And what are those games? For example, we could keep our package the same size, but put less peas in it. So instead of the 1 pound pea you're going to get for $10, you're going to get 0.9 pounds of peas for $10. And the package is the same size. And let's say we also do some GMO production, so we pump more water in our peas, so they're just bigger, they weigh more, so that way we can save even more money. But these are anti-consumer practices. We do enough of this and people just won't buy our peas anymore. But what if we become so big that we're the only ones? What if we're Big Pea? Nobody else is going to, you have nowhere else to go. So you're going to buy our peas that are blown up with water and maybe we even sprinkle in some rocks here and there, so you might lose a couple teeth. But hey, this is the only peas that you can buy. So there are protections for this in the United States. Called antitrust laws, which we totally forgot to use in the past 40 years. So we've seen these giant tech companies get so big and enact laws in their own favor. So we're just kind of locked in. We can't compete with them. They're too big to compete against, right? Or so they want you to think. And we just become paralyzed. I don't think that's normal. I don't think that's good. I think we need to get together and fight against this because it's actually not good for anybody. These big tech giants can't forever extract money out of us. We just don't have infinite money. And when the product that they're offering is not making us money either, there's just no sense of doing this. This has to come to a close. I think, and big tech is right now hiding under AI. Their enshittified products are pushing AI everywhere because they can extract more information out of you. They can get your exact thought process. They can even sell that to big advertisers. Reading your every single thought. When we're interacting with every one of these enshittified platforms through AI chats, they're not only extracting our keywords and our likes. Let's say on Facebook you have likes, right? So they extract those and study those, but they also have our patterns, our thought patterns. They can build entire models of our personality types. They can see whether we're impulsive buyers or we're thoughtful, planned out buyers. They're building really sophisticated profiles on us because AI is extracting so much information because you're chatting with it. You're actually giving up your essence to these companies. And no thanks. I don't think it's attractive for me to use any of these products. I use a large language model if I can run it on my own server here at home, if I know what the trading model is built out of. Then the tech itself is really cool, but the use case for big tech, for all of these AI tools, is to further enshittify their products, to further the enshittification of these products. So as always, this is the problem, but we're not here to just cry and doom and gloom and rage bait on this channel. We're here to talk about what we can do about this. And it's again going back to my first video or 2 videos ago, where I kind of went into the point of we are the ones, the tech guys, the designers, the coders, the highly educated tech people that built these products. A lot of us tech guys are still locked in those prisons building those big companies' products, but we're not stuck there anymore. Let's try to get some kind of basic income going on with whatever we can, and all at the same time, on the side, start building the platforms of the future. And not only this, build the platforms of the future that will not enshittify, that are not concentrated under one company, locked in to build just for profit, just for their shareholders. We've seen this, of course, with any other big tech company you can think of. I used to be on MySpace. I was huge on MySpace. DJ Vic, that was my MySpace handle. My MySpace page is still somehow up without pictures. Here's the picture I used to have on MySpace. But Blue Sky is a really good example of a response to enshittified products, because Blue Sky is built on federated network, which are coming out that are aimed to have users keep their data even if they're on a social media application. Regardless of what's or what's not on Blue Sky, the technology itself is, I think, a move towards the right direction, where us, the users, get to keep our data. If we don't like the server we're on, we can just take our data, get it off it, and move it to a different Blue Sky server. We can create our own Blue Sky server where we're the head honchos, and we do the moderation the way we want to. And so there's no way to really ban you off of Blue Sky. You could get banned off a server, but you can't get banned off the entire network, the entire social media. So I think that's a really good way to approach this, and we need to get our heads together, put some think tanks together, and maybe on our off time start building some of these networks that blow the water out of these big tech products. I'm more than sure that a couple dozen people and I sit down in a room, we can come up with a way better social media platform than what we have, with better features, better safety, just better all around, all over the board. And we can also come up with a good way to monetize for businesses, to advertise, because advertising for businesses is important. As much as we hate advertisement, it does help the economy, and actually this is what businesses need. Businesses need to advertise their products. So there has to be some product discovery, and we don't have to make that our users, we don't have to degrade the user experience in order to sell advertisements. We can keep the user in control and still advertise at the same time, and not go public with these companies, because there isn't unlimited growth. There is only so far you can grow. So keep these companies private. And that's it. I think that's a good solution to it. We are the solution here, and you and I need to get started. I will be back with the next video. On the next one, we're actually going to start looking at some projects, because as much as I do want to offer solutions, we are here a tech channel. And so that's it. Let's focus on that. Let's help each other and come up with these products together. So that's it in a nutshell. I think the time is now to start acting and thinking about these things. And I solely believe that'll cover this video. I think this covered enshittification in a nutshell with an example, and then we talk a little bit about how we can get out of this. We need to build the products of the future ourselves, and we need to build it responsibly, learning from these big giants that ruined the entire thing. For all of us, let's start fresh. And it's going to be hard in the beginning, but I think there's enough will and there's enough hunger for these new products out there. So let's get started. See you in the next video. All we need to do is get started. See you in the next video. Patreon coming soon. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you again. See you in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Let's have a conversation down there. And Patreon's coming soon. I need to upload a lot more incentives on there. That'll cover this video. This was enshittification in a nutshell with an example and some call to action to let's change it together. I don't have all the ideas, but I do have some inspiration. I do have some motivation, and I can maybe pass that along to you. Let's not be scared of these people. They're just people like you and me. They're protected by laws, but they don't have the innovation. They're not the ones down in the lines of code building these products. We have that power, so let's build it, and we'll find some business guy to run our company. We'll make the product ourselves. All right, guys, see you in the next one, where we're actually going to start looking at some projects. In the next video, we're going to start making a logo from scratch, and let's forget about the horrible world of tech on the business side, and let's look at something fun like making a logo in the next video for Optic Lure. So I will see you next time. Comment, like, subscribe, please, and I'm out. Sync clap.